You are in the VIP section of the Black Women in Radio podcast, a decade of the new woman. I'm your host, Felicia Love, along with our special guest, Jasmine Sanders. It's so good to finally see you and meet you in person.
Meet you as well. Thank you so much for showing me so much love. I appreciate it.
Oh my goodness. Of course.
I really do.
Of course.
She's licking my ankle. She's at that age where she needs all the attention.
Oh my goodness. What kind of dog?
She's an Akita.
Akita. Can I see?
Well, let's see. I'll try.
Let's see. How big is he?
Let's see. Say hi, Bella.
Oh, Bella. Beautiful markings.
Yeah, she's going to be huge. She's probably going to be about, 110 pounds.
Wow. That's a real dog.
A good sturdy dog. I can't have I need somebody who can hang with me. Somebody who can have your back.
Yes, exactly. Now, does the dog walk you or do you walk the dog?
What? See, it's this right here. You know who that is calling me? DL. But you know what happened? Is he'll see something on the news or somebody will tweet something that irritates him and he has to talk about it.
He's got a vent.
He's got a vent. He's not overreacting. I'm like, yo, use your inner voice. What is it for you? What is it saying?
I love it. That is so funny. You say, use your inner voice.
Your inner voice. Like, why you got to call me and say, what should I say? Should I go back at him? Oh, you're going to do that anyway. Like,
right?
Stop.
He's like, you don't need my permission.
Exactly. And you know what? What is interesting is he wouldn't take my advice anyway. He just wants to, maybe hear himself say it out loud, but he's already got his mind made up as to what he's going to say, who he's going to block, and how he's going to go. I'm like, dude, why are you calling me?
Should I go in all the way or should I just stay surface?
My thing is, dude, you're already knee deep. Why are you calling me? He's a mess.
You know what? That's my personality too. I will tell people, I really want to know your opinion, but don't be mad at me if I don't go with it.
Absolutely. But you know what? My thing is, and I can't lie, I'm the same way. I will already make up my mind, but I want to at least be able to say, well, now, I did ask around.
Yes.
I did kind of inquire.
I did get several opinions.
I covered my bases. Now, I didn't take the advice, but I covered the bases. That's what you do.
I love it. I love it. You know what? Your personality is just as wonderful and delicious as it is when you are interviewing. So I love that.
Oh, thank you.
I love real people.
Thank you. Listen, you know what? Let me just say something about that because I think people underestimate the power of being yourself. I think people are always in search of what can I do to stand out? What can I do to make people notice me or make it to the next level? And I have always said, and I stand on it even today, if you just be yourself and
Absolutely.
Focus on how can I be a better me. Doesn't mean that you're born with the level of whether it's talent or perseverance that you need. It's really just a matter of how do I focus on what I have and make that better? Because trying to be other people, first of all, if you've been in this game long enough, you'll understand it will wear you down. It will wear you down. And you will get wrinkles. Nobody wants that.
No. Too darn cute for that.
On you. Be the best you that you can be, and everything else will follow.
I have to ask you, how long did it take for you to get there? Because honey, I did some soul searching throughout my career. Let me tell you, I was like in the washing machine, just in the spin cycle, going and going before I could get it.
I think we all go through that. I think it really is a matter of drowning out the other voices along the way. Mm-hmm. Because I think when you, especially as a Black woman, when you set your mind to something, and I do believe that, and I'm not saying that it doesn't happen for Black men, but I happen to be a Black woman. So I know that it is something that is inside you, and it's a tiny voice. And either you can turn that up or you can turn the other voices up. One of them will drown out the other. And I think that will determine how long your journey is. The more volume you turn up on the people around you, the longer, the harder your journey is going to be. But when you really tap into who you are, not who people say you are, not who people want you to be, but actually who you are, when you tap into that and you only focus on that, I think it makes your journey shorter. Now, it's not going to be less difficult. Right. It will be shorter. And so for me, it took a minute to get here, but because I refused to believe that I was placed on this planet, that I had gone through all of the things I had gone through, the difficulties, I refused to believe that had to be for nothing. I had this strong belief that there had to be a reason why this hurt so bad. There had why, I was always the last one to be chosen. There had to be a lesson in all of those things. And if I could just focus in on, well, what is that lesson? Then I knew I would be able to get to where I wanted to be. And in my mind, I'm far from where I want to end up. I still have miles to go before I sleep, but I just refuse to sit down on that. Like every day, I'm trying to figure out what else I can do. It doesn't mean that I am ungrateful. It doesn't mean that I don't feel as though I have accomplished things. It's just that I don't relax or sleep in them.
Yes.
If that makes any sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have learned how to turn the noise down in your head.
Let me tell you something. I learned this a long time ago. If you wait to listen for other people to applaud you, to encourage you, to push you, you will be waiting an eternity. So you
long time.
Way how to be everything on the team for yourself. It doesn't mean that you turn away people who want to be team members, but you have to figure out, how can I be the coach, the player, the medic, the cheerleader, the water boy? How can I be all of those things in case no one shows up to my game? How can I do that so that no matter what, there won't be a forfeit? That's the key. And once I figured that out, I was like, you know what? I may not cheer the loudest. I may not be the fastest runner. I may not be the best coach with the greatest advice, but you know what I will be? I'll be the one there at the finish line. And for me, that's all that mattered. And that's worked for me. It's worked for me. If you think about it, there are so many people who don't know who I am. I don't even worry about that because I know who I am and I know how hard I work. I know the pain and the suffering and the tears and the sweat that I shed. I know all of that and I understand the value. So I don't need my name to be, on TV or, getting the credits of, I don't need any of that because I know how hard I work and I know the value of that. So for me, that's good enough. That's
and
good.
You know what? That is the key to surviving this whole quarantine thing, not knowing which direction your career is going into for real this time, because the whole world is shut down basically. So it's totally out of our control. And unless you have that nugget of wisdom that you just gave, I don't even want to be in those shoes because you're losing your mind. You're losing your mind. Mm-hmm.
But think about it, those of us, and I'm sure you're included, when you've been in the valley for so long and you've been by yourself for so long in the struggle, quarantine, self-quarantine, you're like,
you've been doing it.
What you're talking about? I've been doing this. It's been me and the four walls and a computer and some top fingers. I know. We're like, I don't understand what you're talking about. Self-quarantine.
Yes, Lord.
So for us, I think a long time ago, I read a book, and I'm so sure you've heard of it. Ian LeVan, The Value in the Valley.
Yes.
A long time ago. A lot of people don't know anything about that. But when I tell you, it taught me to value when I was in the valley. I had no idea that it would really come back to help me. I didn't know. I just figured it was something that people said. It was cliche. But if you think about it, you're like, wow. So some people who were lucky enough or blessed enough to be able to get that trajectory that they needed very easily. And I'm not saying that their journey wasn't difficult, but for some of us, the struggle is real. And you're like, wow, now I'm actually thankful that I understood how to find water in a place where it was hard to be found.
Oh, Jasmine.
For years. So right now, the drought for everyone else is driving them crazy. I'm like, I thrive on this. This is where I cut my teeth. Like, I'm good at this. What's next? And I become the camel that everyone loves initially. But I'm like, yo, now I'm good. My belly's full of water. What y'all doing?
And if you are going to survive the long game in entertainment, you have to be the camel. And it's interesting that you say that, because not many of us have learned, especially in the beginning of chasing this, entertainment dream. We didn't learn that we're going to have to save some for later. We didn't learn that you sow a little bit, and if you don't get a bite, it doesn't mean that you're not important or you're not enough or you've done something wrong. And that's where we get hung up. Don't you agree?
I totally agree. When I tell you, when I was younger in this business, I mean, not that a sister ain't still young.
Girl, fine as wine.
But what I'm saying is, when I first started out, I really thought it was about chasing whoever that person is that I don't know, but they have that title and they can validate me and my talent. Yes. I really thought it was all about that. But very quickly, I learned if I just stay focused on what I know to believe in myself and my abilities and what I believe the best me is, and I just put the work in. I didn't have to chase anything. It literally chased me.
It will find you.
I had heard that before, and I thought, I've never really bought into it, because I was like, no, you got it. It's such a thing of our culture that you got to be grinded, you got to be chasing, and I'm like, well, really, it's not about the chase, it's about the grind, but it's about the grind that you create for yourself. And when you do it and you do it well, you don't have to chase anything, because other things will be chasing you to figure out, how are you able to grind that way when all of us are experiencing a drought? And I learned that. And once I figured that out, everything changed for me. Everything changed. And it's funny, because when you try to tell younger people that, they don't believe it, because they believe you have to find out, well, who's the head of this company and who's the biggest person. Let me chase the most famous right now. And I'm like, you know what? Sometimes it's really not about that. You got to figure out not who's famous, but who's good. And that's who you want to follow. And when you follow them and you pick up, like, okay, well, I can use that in my life and kind of, my blueprint of how I'm going to become successful, and you put it into work, everything that you're looking for is looking for you. Very simple.
You know what? That was a blessing in my life, by remembering everything that I'm looking for is looking for me. But I tell you what, our culture has it backwards. And I'm so glad we're having this conversation, Jazz, and I can hug you through the computer here.
It's 6 feet, girl. We good.
I know, right? I know. We got to talk about socializing. I totally miss it. But this is where culture has us backwards. It has us believing that we have to be better than the next girl, because we're always pitted against the other one. There's always going to be another one. And that's how they have us chasing our tail, doubting our talents. And it is truly not until you realize that what you're looking for is looking for you that you actually get a chance to enjoy your career.
Absolutely. And let me tell you something. I have always hated, I make no bones about, it's no doubt that we live in a male-dominated society. I do believe that is changing. I do. I still think we have a long way to go, but I'm a realist. I don't buy into bubble dreams. I look at it for what it is. And I get that it's a male industry. The thing that I hate the most is that they have figured out a way, and we've bought into it as women, is how to fight and become catty with each other. Pretend that we're all about sisterhood. I've got a huge issue with that, because we think it is in vogue to say, oh, I believe in sisterhood and I uplift my sisters and I help people and it's all about Black girl magic. But then when you meet these people, or you see some of that, you try to, DM them or try to figure out, could you help me a little bit? You find out that people are like, hey, listen, there's only room enough for me on this platform. I would love to help you, but I can't. Only room for me. And I hate that we have kind of bought into what I believe truly is not in our innate nature. I
It
think
is not. I believe that.
as women to be nurturers and encouragers and lovers. And we are the ones who give birth to the nation. So how could we not have that amount of love in us for our, sister, right? So I,
Absolutely.
because we bought into this whole thing, there can only be one. There has to be one woman who has this kind of voice or this kind of personality or this kind of body or this kind of look or this kind of talent. And so that when we see other women that are jockeying or vying for that particular position, we hate them before we even get to know them based on something that someone else has told us that that's going to make them better than you.
Right.
And the thing is, again, whatever you're looking for is looking for you. So if you just walk in whatever is in, your spirit and your soul and what was innately born in you, everything that you're trying to gain, you don't have to step on anybody because it's looking for you too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And as you're tearing down relationships along the way, there is something that we all have witnessed. The same people you see climbing up, you see coming down. So it is more important, I think, to establish those long-lasting relationships, and because they may be the very people that'll give you your next break. You don't know. So it's all about your humility and personality and sharing your lessons with those who are along the way.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's absolutely true. And I think if we were to focus more on that, I think we'd be in a better position. I do think that we talk a lot about Black Girl Magic, but I think if we really put it more in action, you know what I mean? Like in terms of helping one another across the board, I really think that we could be better than or greater than we ever imagined. But I do think that sometimes even now, I think we've come a long way. We've come a long way, but I think we still have a little bit ways to go. I've gone into rooms before, and listen, if anybody knows me, they will tell you I am so down to earth. I am so cool. I don't walk in a room with a chip on my shoulder. I'm like, listen, I just want to get to know everybody. I've walked into rooms before, and it was warm initially. But as soon as I walk in and I look around, all of a sudden I could feel the chill. And I'm like,
yes.
Well, we're in the struggle together. Like, do you not understand that when you rise, I rise, and we rise together? If I go up and I look back for you and now I pick you up and you turn around and pick somebody else up, we literally are building a bridge. Why would you be out like that? And it's really disheartening. I mean, I've left a lot of events thinking, I never thought that they would be that way. And it's very disheartening. But
it is.
Again, it's because of the way the system is built. And I think that, they have figured out a way to make sure that they remain, at the top by keeping us pitted against each other. Right. We can't focus on the bigger picture of, what, we could be equal right up here. We could dominate too. But
That's
I think
the key.
At each other's throats.
That is the key.
Better. I think it's gotten better. And I think it's a lot to do with social media and getting to know each other, even the way you and I have come in contact, And as soon as I saw it, I was like, I've got to support that. I've got to support that. And I think people thinking more like that and being real with it, I think that's what helps us.
It absolutely does, which is one reason why I developed Black Women in Radio, so that we could open up a platform to talk to each other like girlfriends and encourage each other in real time every day. And I just had a conversation with a young lady today about how important it is for us to encourage each other, even with a like. There was a young lady, I won't say any names, that I noticed on our platform was having a really hard time. And I really felt like she was in a depression because of the way she was, dialoguing on social media. And I did a little write-up on her, and her spirit lifted. Not only that, but then when I went back to check her social media, it's like a light bulb. And I'm not saying that's something that I did, but I am saying that it's working, in that we're touching people in ways that we will never know. And she did DM me and say, thank you so much. I was in a dark place. and it's just a simple like. And I don't think we are attracted to likes like our fans are. I believe that we realize, okay, it's like every little breadcrumb. Okay, I did a good job on this. My sisters are recognizing me. Just keep going. And even those things when we lose jobs all the time. That's nothing new. But it doesn't help. I mean, hurt. I mean, I've got this echoing in my ear, so I'm saying something twice. But it doesn't help, to lose a job. It still stings. It still stings something terrible. I remember losing a couple of jobs and went in total depression. So I get it. But we do bounce back, but we only bounce back when we start believing in ourselves and our self-worth, just like you said.
Yeah. And I think sometimes that starts with somebody else kind of igniting that spark, even if it's a light. It literally is like a match that you strike for somebody. And I think, if we did that, I know probably last year, going back to me remembering the things that my grandmother used to say, like, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And I began to think, well, instead of posting or trying to figure out, well, do people like that based on the number of likes? I started thinking, well, why don't I start liking things that I see? Like, I'm not too big to say I like this, or to, get on somebody's page that I don't know and say, hey, that was really dope. And I think it's little things like that when you look at them in the grand scheme of things seem so small, but to somebody who, to your point, is in a dark place, it could mean so much. And I think when we do those little things for other people and you begin to create this kind of web of magic that you are not only creating for someone else's world, but really, in essence, you're also creating it for yourself, because we all know that whatever it is that you sow into the world, it's what's going to come back to you. And I think sometimes we get so caught up in the mundane and the minutiae of, what you have to do every day, day in and day out. And it becomes, I will be the first to admit, and my assistant can tell you, I can be very selfish. And it is because when you get into this world of media and radio and entertainment, you have to be so laser focused on you that sometimes you can forget. You do understand that there are other people out there. Hello, it's not all about you. And I had to take a step back and say, everything isn't about me. I understand that I am trying to make a mark in my world so that I can leave something for the people who come after me. But in this very moment, why not stop and think about other people as well? And then that creates a domino effect that will eventually come back to me. It's like a boomerang.
It absolutely is.
Those types of things, like a like or a post or even spotlighting someone, it may seem so small, but it could mean the world to somebody else.
Absolutely. And like I said, I don't think we look at the likes and comments from our peers in the same way. It's not because we've been in the business for a while, so we're not looking for each other to like us. Heck, we're not even used to that. Let's start there.
That's so true. That's so true. Listen, you get it. Coming up, we were like, social media, you just put it out there and you're like, yo, I'll see it in the ratings, or I won't.
Yes.
Like, look, your numbers are down. What are you doing? We didn't have that immediate kind of, reaction. Or, the ability to find out, did this lay good or did it go back? You just didn't know. You had to wait until the ratings came out. And now it's like this instant gratification. And based on likes, based on comments, right away, either it fell flat or, you got traffic from it. We didn't have that luxury.
We did not have that luxury. So you are so right. Back in the day. And then we had to trust the program director to tell us the truth. Ha!
And that depends on whether they liked you or not. You're like, yeah, okay. I know I was doing good, but you told me I was doing terrible because they didn't let you see the numbers back then, remember?
Exactly. That's why I say you have to trust that they're telling you the truth. Because, boy, there were some revolving doors back in the day. I had a good run.
Yes, I went through many program directors, a lot. I've been fired so many times that I felt like it was normal. I was like, it's one thing. That's part of your career. You get hired, you get fired, you get hired, you get fired. It's just part of it.
Exactly. It's part of it. And we do learn, after a depression or two, we do learn that, getting fired does not mean that our worth has been flattened, which is something else that I really wanted to bring up with Black women in radio, because we're doing so many other things. We're so creative. And it's just a shame that we get pigeonholed in one medium. And then when it doesn't work, we're labeled as worthless, or we, go find another career. And it's like, hell no, I'm good at what I do.
No, I get you. I'm
Yeah.
totally. And you know what I learned from a branding manager some years ago? She was like, you know what? You should stop saying that you're a radio personality. And I was like, but that's what I am. She's like, no. She said, because if you should lose your job in radio, what are you now? And I was like, damn, I never thought about that. And when you think about the totality of what is required to be not just a radio personality, but a good radio personality, it takes tenacity. It takes the ability to have some journalistic instincts, because you believe, okay, I can't just rip and read. I got to research and make sure that whatever it is that I am reading or speaking about is truth and is factually based, right?
Exactly.
And so it takes a little bit of all of that. And I began to think, well, not only am I a radio personality, I'm a journalist. I'm also, a personality in and of itself. So a little bit of comedic element, a little bit of drama, like just a little bit of everything. And I began to say, okay, so I get it. So maybe I'm not a radio personality. I'm a media maven. Like I'm good at all of it. And I think, starting there kind of puts things in proper perspective, so that when you lose the radio gig, because trust me, it's coming, you're going to lose it. Whether they're changing.
Oh yeah, stay there long enough.
He's coming in and he wants to bring in his people. It ain't got nothing to do with you. It's just that he wants to bring his crew in. It's going to happen, right? But at least now you've created your own narrative in your mind that I'm not just a radio personality. I could go after that TV gig because I have some journalistic background here. I can be a reporter. I know how to write a story because I had to write it from the facts that I gathered and then report it. So I could do that too. Or I could do voiceovers, or I could get into acting, because let me tell you something. All of us, and you included, I know, have gone to work and you have not felt yourself. You were either on migraine, you had a horrible breakup, you had a break in, you had a break out, all of those things, and you were able to convince people that everything in your world was fantastic.
Absolutely.
That's at its finest, right? And not just for 5-10 minutes, for 4 hours, Mom.
Yes. Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
You go home and let it all hang out like, oh, Jesus, the offense.
How did I get through that?
Right. But I think when we begin to knock away, the titles and the barriers that come with words that define us, I think that then we'll be able to better understand the talented creatures that we are. Because we limit ourselves with these titles and these words and get hung up on, I'm a radio personality. Stop it. Because when you're no longer that, you will sink into the deepest depression, because you'll say, I lost my gig and I have no idea what I'm going to do.
Who am I?
Who am I?
Who am I in all of this?
Right. Mm-hmm. And then someone else will hire you in radio. You'll start doubting your own talent, your own power, all of that, when it's just really what you played in your head.
Absolutely. And it has to do with entitlement, that sense I am entitled to be in the room. I love Michelle Obama when she said that. You are entitled to be in the room. Stop thinking that you're not. I'm not going to say how old I am, but it took all of my career to get that.
Let me tell you something. I will say this. I was blessed. Extremely blessed. And I don't know if it's because of the fact that I felt, being adopted and finding out that I was adopted and already feeling at a very young age that I wasn't worthy. So I created my own kind of character, my own facade, if you will, right? And so that when I became professional in my career, I always walked in the door like, not only do I deserve a seat at the table, I should be at the head of the table. Who has my chair?
Exactly.
And now that attitude has gotten me into some problems, I'm not going to lie. But I've always had that mentality. But I think, again, you either sacrifice early or you sacrifice late. Either way, you're going to pay. And I think I paid my penance early on. so that when I got older, I always had this air of, entitlement. Like, I'm supposed to be here. Like, what are you talking about? You don't see it, but I know I'm supposed to be here. And every single job that I've gotten was based on that. But again, it's not because, I didn't sacrifice. It's just that for me, my sacrificial lamb, if you will, was my innocence, and very early on in my life. And so that when I became an adult, I kind of felt like, okay, what else do I have to lose? I'm going to walk in every room like I own it. Matter of fact, I built the freaking room.
I love that. I love that. And you are so right. We may be on, different paths in our lives, but you're right. There is a sacrificial lamb somewhere along the way. How do we get over that so that we can get back to the business of being our authentic selves, And so I believe that it comes from self-mastery and growing into your growing into your heart, because your heart is so much, it'll expand once you start forgiving things and forgiving people. But we haven't learned that. There's nowhere to learn that except hard knocks. And then you've got a choice. You're going to be a bitch, or you're going to learn from it and allow your heart to expand.
But you know what? I believe wholeheartedly, and this took me a few years to really acknowledge. I knew it, but I didn't know what to call it. Yes. I think that's the reason why Black women get labeled as angry. It's because we have been angry, but it's because it's been the only outlet that we've had. I can remember when I was a young girl, my mother that raised me, she didn't really give me a lot of wisdom, but she gave me the gift of laughter, and she didn't know that she did. And so beautiful. For me, I learned very early on the way to defeat my depression, to defeat my fear, to defeat the pain that I felt, was to laugh in the face of tragedy. Now, I know that it's very difficult and it sounds very silly, and I don't mean it in a silly kind of way, but I mean learn to look at it and say, I can't change this. It has happened. Now, I can do one of two things. I can sit in it, cry, and die, or I can look at it, giggle, and move the fuck on.
Oh, amen.
That's what I learned to do. And so I've always said, if I could leave anything with the people in my wake, when I am long gone, I hope that the one thing I am able to teach Black women specifically, what happened to our laughter? Oh. We've been the birthers of nations. We've cried as our husbands were killed in our presence, our babies torn from our arms and sold in front of us. We've cried as men have left us, just battered and bruised. But we've mastered being angry. We're masters at it. The minute we learn how to find our joy and laugh again, when I tell you, we will be the most powerful creatures on this planet.
Yes.
That's what it's all about. Think about it. We cry through everything. Then we're mad about everything. I guarantee you, if you ask most people, the one thing they will tell you that is stereotypical about a Black woman is that she's always mad. She always looks angry. Well, look at what life has done to us.
Yes. And we've had to fight for everything.
Right. So we've learned how to use all of our emotions except for laughter. So again,
my gosh,
once you learn how to find the giggle that you had as a little girl, it will soothe every scar. It is the healing balm of Gilead. When I tell you, I'm about to preach, I'm about to dance like David. I'm just telling you, you got to get it. So it's about that joy, finding that laughter. Think about it. You cannot laugh and be mad or sad at the same time.
Right.
There you are. Girl, let me tell you something. That negative energy, and we didn't want this word. That's what that was.
We just sweep that right away, girl. Don't let me get my say.
But I'm trying to tell you, that's part of the problem. They don't want that to get out because that is the magic. It's so simple. It's right in our faces, and we look everywhere. We look in books, we look in Bibles, we look on YouTube, we look everywhere, when really everybody has the power of laughter, but we won't use it because we sound like kids when we say it, but it's so true. Try it. I'm telling
And
you.
you know what? It is making peace, I believe, with your inner child. All of us have that part of our childhood that was broken, didn't work as well as we felt that it needed to as adults. We needed more support, and we didn't get that, or absentee parents, or all kinds of things, and tragedies, of course. But those broken pieces make us broken as adults until we make peace with them. And then once we do, and that laughter, that kid inside of us remembers, I have the right to love my life.
That's right. Well, if you look at it the way you would a window, there are two ways to peer into it, either from the inside out or the outside in. It's the same way when you're going through tragedies, trials, triumphs even. You can look at them two ways. It doesn't always have to be from a position of tragedy and tears and all of that. You can definitely do that. But my question is, so what do you get when you're finished? What do you get? Yeah, your face is puffy, your mascara is running, and now you've put on 15 to 20 pounds from eating Chunky Monkey. But your problems are still there. The pain is still there.
The pain is still there.
That, or you could give them and say, you know what, Lord, now listen, you know, you got a funny sense of humor. This hurts, but it's actually kind of funny because I can't believe I'm in this predicament. And that goes for whether somebody treated me wrong, whether somebody did me wrong, whether somebody, you know, maybe a family member passed on. It could be any of those things. It depends on how you choose to look at it, will determine what your outcome is on the other side. And my thing is this, I challenge people, you've tried that, why not try this?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Try it.
It does not hurt anyone to feel joy inside. It does not hurt anyone. I think that we're almost programmed to feel like we're supposed to hold on to grudges, when in fact, as humans, we are here to release all of that negative energy so that we can live heaven on earth. It's the heaven that we create with our own creativities and our big hearts to love even more, to expand even more. And we're just cut off, not only our supply of oxygen from our own creativity, but even in relationships. And look how many women are angry about relationships. I just had a conversation with Rashawn Ali about this as well. It's like, who is the person who is needing attention? Who is the person who's complaining? Well, let me check to see what's going on inside of me. Why do I have all of this going on? And it's usually, I tell my millennial daughters all the time, it's not the person. You've got to dig a little deeper to find out why your buttons are being pushed.
Well, not only that, Oprah said something years ago that I will never forget. And she was talking about how she learned very early on that being angry all the time didn't help, because there she was walking around mad, and she saw the person that she was angry with across the street laughing and living their best life. And she was like, damn, face all twisted up, I got extra wrinkles, and they're having the time of their lives. And so I think part of the magic is understanding that this too shall pass. And depending on how long I decide to hold on to that anger will determine how quickly it will pass or how slowly it will fade. It's really up to us. And so while you're and sitting in your house crying and talking about how horrible your life is, the other person that you're angry with, or someone who has committed that offense on you, they're living their best life. And if you think about it, you can't get that time back. So my thing is, again, just challenging people. Okay, again, you've tried everything else. Just try to laugh your way out of this. Not like crazy laugh, like asylum crazy, but just like, okay, well, let me look at it from a different perspective. I'm in the inside looking. Let me go on the outside and look at it from a different perspective. And maybe that will help me giggle and move on.
Exactly. And not only that, you'll feel a lot better afterwards, because laughter is healing.
Oh my God, it's so healing. And I think the children, let me tell you something. Most old people, when you talk to them in senior living facilities, you know what they want to do? watch children play and laugh. You know why? Because when you get old in the winter of your life, you realize that's where the power is. As children, you feel invincible. Why? Because you don't hold on or harbor angry feelings. You argue with your best friend and now you're playing together again. You're mad at him one day or her one day, the next day or not 10 minutes later, you're best friends again. We lose that as we become adults because we get caught in here. So once you begin to reclaim that, you realize, okay, I know you offended me. I forgive you. Now I'm not going to forget that lesson.
Right? Frankie Darcell said the same thing in an interview just recently, that boys are taught to, play sports and be upset with each other and forgive, and girls are not. Well, now that we're adults and we realize that we have so much incredible talent, let's not allow this to stop us anymore. Let today be the last day with our interview with beautiful Jasmine Sanders. Let today be the last day that you carry a grudge, that you refuse to laugh or see the lighter side of things. People they'll call you Pollyanna. So what?
Yeah, you can call me what? It's what I answer to that matters.
There you go. Period. There you go. I love this conversation. Period. Say it again.
I said, or as the millennials say, period.
Exactly. I love this conversation. It just warms my heart when I talk to Black women that get it. And it's like, oh my gosh, if we can just combine all of this power together, like you said earlier on, we will be phenomenal. The more we wake up to each other and the beauty in each other. I've got to ask you about dating. What is dating?
Now, why you want to go and do that? Listen, I can't answer anything about dating because I am not dating at the moment. I don't know why. I think, but you know what? Let me say this, because I get this question all the time about dating. I've never been married. I've had some relationships, obviously, but I don't know what happens. I don't want to say that there is a trade-off because I don't believe that. I do believe that, you just have to be patient. And I think, like I said before, whatever you're looking for is looking for you. And I think you have to be in a good frame of mind, and you have to be in the right place emotionally, spiritually, all of those things in order to be equally yoked, which I'm a firm believer in. And so my thing is to not worry about, well, when am I going to get a date? Or how come nobody ever asked me out? And I just focus on how can I be the best me to attract what is appropriate and right for me. And so whatever the universe decides that time is, and that I have reached that level, I will be okay with that. And I am just hoping that it is soon, because a sister wants a date. However,
I know, right?
The patience of Job, and I'm just saying, you know what, in the meantime, I am just going to focus on being a healthy, happy, and just kind of well-adjusted person. And I am hoping that, because if that's what I am looking for in me, that is looking for me.
Absolutely.
So I'm right with that.
I believe the same.
Usher's number, tell him I said, hey, what's up? I'm just kidding. Not really. No, I'm just kidding. Not real talk.
No, you're not. No.
I'm not kidding. Hey, Usher.
We could throw Tank in there. Tank. Oh my goodness.
See, you playing. But it's true. Listen, we can have fantasies. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it at all, honey. Nothing wrong with it at all.
I'm not mad at it. But again, I just think that as long as I get myself right, because I'm looking for that in me, baby, when he comes, woo, what?
Treat.
Hey.
Exactly. And you both will have such a rich relationship. I totally believe in that. Now, I've been married twice and had a really serious,
Good, until you get it right. No judgment.
Exactly.
Like, no judgment. Listen. No judgment at all. Listen, Apple's iPhones are always jacked up. They keep on
They keep upgrading.
Every time I turn around, I'm like, damn, what happened to last year's best version? So if you can do it, I can do it too. I'm just
That's
saying.
right. That is right. That is right. But that's what I've learned out of those two relationships, because I was of the thought that one needed to get married in order to experience this success.
Yeah.
And what you don't do is just go grab the next good guy that you think is a good guy, because then he turns into a nightmare and you two are a nightmare together. I now really value what you're saying, and it is worth the wait.
Yeah.
What does not resonate with our culture right now is learning more about yourself, loving yourself more, becoming that perfect mate for you. And once you do that, you will attract, you won't go for any scrubs. They won't even be on your radar. But you've got to have that first.
I read an article yesterday about Halle Berry. Now, she's the baddest chick on the planet.
What? Yes.
She'd have had 18,000 marriages.
Yes.
But you know what she said? She said, you know what? I'm not even worried about dating right now. She was like, I kept thinking I'm a relationship person. I love relationships. And so, now she's the butt of a lot of jokes. However, she said something so insightful. She said, I've realized I really love myself. I don't have to be in a relationship. It will be nice when it comes. But you know what? I've been focusing on me. And now I realize what I like, what I don't like about myself and other people and situations. And she said, now I feel so much more centered that when the next relationship, if it is, I'll be ready for it. And that's how I am. Even though I am the butt of a ton of DL's jokes, I don't let it bother me. I'm like, I get it. I know I'm not crazy. I'm the best. Baby, I don't know what you're talking about.
And if you don't know, who will know? I mean, really, you know how many superficial women there are out there. You can see right through them. Men too. I should say superficial people.
Amen.
We won't name any names. We'll do that off camera.
Yeah, but we won't do it. We're being nice.
We're being nice. The stories we can tell.
17 at the moment, so I can't do it. I can't do that.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. But yes, but to your point earlier, reality TV loves to see the cattiness in relationships. They love to see the brokenness and the dysfunction. But that's not who we are. We don't thrive off of that mess normally. Not if we are really in tune with who we are. And that's the key. That's the kind of television I want to see.
Yeah. Now, you know what? I'm not going to lie. Full disclosure. There was a time and a point that I absolutely hated reality shows because they gave me heart palpitations. They still do. Yeah. However, now I do feel like, just like anything, just like our diet when it comes to food, you have to have a healthy balance of everything. And so you can take a little bit of reality TV along with reality, period. I think that you have the ability to be able to kind of differentiate between both and have a good, healthy kind of purview of all types of women instead of assuming that everyone is like what you see on reality TV, because you are what you eat. So you are what you consume. So if the only thing you consume is reality TV, you might think that all women act that way, when in reality, we don't. So if you consume some of this, but you also consume some of that and a little bit of the other, then I think it's healthy. Do I like the way we are portrayed? I don't. But I am also a firm believer in that you can't portray me in a way that I didn't give you
permission to.
I didn't give you content. I gave you something to allow me to be seen in that light. Mm-hmm. I just think there has to be a balance on TV that shows us like this and like that. Because make no mistake about it, white chicks are crazy too. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's Black women who are being seen like this. It's just that they understand that for the moment, that's what's grabbing eyeballs. I think most women have a little bit of crazy in them, and I think that's fine because I think men have crazy in them too. So I think it's really about capturing the full spectrum all the way around. And as long as you ingest a little bit of that, a little bit of National Geographic, a little bit of MSNBC, a little bit of, Tamron Hall, all of that, so you can see, oh, wow, they come in all shades and packages. Then
absolutely.
I'm okay with that.
Absolutely. Because I'm hearing a lot of pushback now from reality stars in the way they're being portrayed.
Mhm.
And it's the same thing I've been watching all along. I don't even watch much reality TV at all because, like you said, I will I will watch it for fashion and the next social event they're going to, that I'll watch it for. But relationships,
I'll be honest, I've never watched an entire episode of one single reality show. I
yeah,
see on social media because of, obviously I have to prep for show. I will see trailers and immediately my heart sinks because I know that I am going to be judged by that behavior. You know what I mean? And
yes,
so
you are.
be very uncomfortable and I need a Xanax. So my thing is, I get that reality stars want to say that, we hate how we're being portrayed. But if I jump up on a table, how am I supposed to take that?
Yeah, that's right. That is
Like,
right.
did that. So, I mean, I don't get it. You know what I mean? And listen, I totally agree that if you follow anybody for any extended amount of time, you're going to listen. I would go crazy if there was a camera in my car. I'm the worst and the most aggressive driver. I am not by birth from New York, but I am a New York driver all day long. I'm cussing like a sailor. I'm angry. I'm impatient. I'm all of that. But that's not who I am. So if someone were to capture that, but I couldn't be mad because I'm telling you, I get it. I do act like that. So I can't be mad if that's what you highlight because you understand that's going to get you traffic.
Exactly.
So it's up to me to change my behavior so that you may say, we really don't need you because you're not that exciting. You're kind of boring. So they're in between a rock and a hard place. Do I give them what they want so I can get this check to take care of my family?
Right.
Or do I give them, the kind of mundane, mellow me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I'm with you. If it were more well-rounded, I would watch.
Yeah.
I would pay more attention. But
I
I need some reality in the reality.
No, listen, we all understand. I have never ran across a single person who could live like that but not work and not be married. You get what I'm saying? Like, okay, if your husband were rich, but you don't have a husband. I know it's
Right.
housewives, but you're not married. So how is it that people are coming to your house and you're buying all these fashionable clothes and I know the prices of them? Okay,
Yes.
how are you affording that? But you never go to work.
Mm-hmm.
That's not reality.
That's not reality.
Reality.
We've got these millennials thinking it is.
Hard.
I have two of
Girl, you crazy.
them. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you, I sincerely thank you so much for being such a beautiful spirit. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like I've known you forever, and that is a huge blessing, especially when you're in the industry, to leave that kind of impression on people. I know that to be true from being around a lot of, celebrities. Sometimes people will walk away and you'll be like, "Woo, what was that?" But such a sweet spirit, and thank you, thank you so much for
Taking the
taking
opportunity.
some value in what we do and
I see it.
see the need.
I think it's so important and necessary. Absolutely necessary.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I just want to do a word association with you and then we can go.
Here we go. I'm ready. I should have had my tequila first, but I'm ready. Bring it
You know
on.
what? I was gonna tell you, you know what? We'll just have drinks today and do our interview. I know.
Drinks. I don't know about you, but mama stays with the drinks. I love a good tequila. Well,
I know.
if I can tell you, recently I've been drinking gin. Now I know it sounds so old school because when I was in college, gin was like for old people,
Right, right.
but I developed this love for Japanese gin. It's very good, and it's not the gin that my daddy drank. It's
Right.
like very good. I can't even
Is it smoother?
very smooth. No hard bite. So I've gone from tequila to now I'm into this whole gin thing. So I've been buying different types of gin and just kind of trying them out. I love it.
Oh my gosh, girl. We're gonna have to
Happening.
That was one reason why I was going to ask you about dating, because I was like, what are we going to do? We're not socializing this quarantine thing 6 months down the road. Are we still going to be, 6 feet? How do you date like that?
What I'm working with right here. See, this is what we do right here. Look, glass and everything. Mama don't play. Matter of fact, I'm going to have a nice little shot just because I'm talking to you, because that's how we get down.
I love it. Now, what are you drinking? What is that called?
This is scotch, which I normally don't drink. This is for visitors who come over.
Well, I feel so special.
Special talking to you. I'm going to sip this right here.
I love it. I feel so special. Thank you for inviting me into your home.
Absolutely. You are always welcome. Open invitation just for you.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so I'm respectful of your time, so I'm not going to chatter any more because I'll keep going. We just said you have to remember it's not all about you.
Our media world, we could talk all day.
Yes. It's like, didn't she say this was a 15-minute interview? No. Okay, here we go.
The talk is good.
Say it again.
I said, that's how you know the talk is good. You don't realize the time that's gone by. Good conversation.
Very true. I've been through some painful interviews in my life.
Girl, I get it. I know. You've had to dig it out, right? Ooh, I know.
It's like doing surgery.
And try not to cuss, girl.
And don't be on TV like you. I don't know how you do. Just keep a straight face. Oh my gosh.
It ain't easy. It is not easy.
Okay, here we go, Jasmine. Word association. Heels or flip-flops?
Ooh, I'm a heels girl.
Okay, TV or the gym?
The gym.
Zumba or weights?
Zumba. I'm a dancer in spirit.
Me too. Yes. Along with that laughter, get a good look in the mirror and go, honey, they are not doing that.
All this right here. I'm bottom heavy. You don't want me to move. This whole room will turn out. Let me tell you. I love it. I'm not mad. I get it. I laugh at it.
Oh, gosh. I love it. Okay, wine or shots?
Ooh, wine.
R&B.
It's a Saturday night, baby. We got to get the shots.
See, I know occasion. Most of this list is all about, the occasion. Oh, sure. How about R&B or hip hop?
I'm an R&B girl.
Religious or spiritual?
I'm spiritual.
Beach or mountains?
Beach, what? All day? Peeling the black off my bones. I'm a beach girl and wasn't born anywhere near any kind of water and don't care.
I am the same way. Well, Chicago, that's near water, but still, it's not the same. I am totally a beach girl.
All day.
Totally. All right, steak or sushi?
Steak.
Marriage, this is Frankie Darcel's. Marriage or side piece?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you had asked me maybe 5 years ago, maybe 5 minutes ago, I'd have said marriage, but I'm not going to go with side piece.
That whole perspective is changing. It is. And for those of you who are watching, we're not talking about, unethical stuff. We're just talking about marriage is not as important anymore.
I think it's because so many more opportunities exist for us that used to not. The fact that now we can buy our own homes, we used to not be able to even get a loan from the bank. The fact that we can now be executives of companies, start our own businesses, all of that. And you used to have to rely on a man for that, and you don't have to anymore. So now, whereas my grandmother was groomed for marriage and married when she was 13 years old, I don't have that. So for me, I'm going to change your wording. I wouldn't say side piece, but I'd say business partner.
Oh, I like that.
Not marriage, but I will have a business partner.
Okay, I'm going to adjust that. I like that a lot better because I don't necessarily like myself associated with the side piece.
Yeah, me either.
Side piece thing.
Yeah,
especially for the stigma of it all.
Yeah.
But it does mean that we'd love to have a business partner.
A business partner.
What do they call it in Jamaica? Is it a buddy?
Is it a buddy?
I think it's a buddy.
Well, I need a buddy. Marriage or a buddy. I'll take a buddy.
Buddy. I just thought about that. My goodness, thank you so very much. You are the best. I wish you so much love. And you know what? When you have anything at all that we can participate in or support you in, I'm just a phone call away. You got my email and everything.
Oh, thank you. That is so awesome. I really appreciate that. I thank you so much. I really do.
I'm behind you 1000%. Well, thanks again.
I don't know what she's talking about. Oh, she's telling me to tell you about the show. So, you know, the TV show that we were doing, we've now come back. It's called D.L. Hughley Uncut. I think we began airing on the 28th. Yes. The 28th of April. Okay. So we will be back in your homes acting crazy and me trying to maintain some sanity with this dude. So make sure you check it out. It's on LOL, which is Kevin Hart's platform, and Pluto. So we're super excited about that. But outside of that, I'll keep you posted on my other endeavors.
I can't wait because I know you're a busy woman and you're one of many talents. So have at it, girl. Cheers.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend, girl. I'll talk to you soon.
You too. Bye-bye, Jasmine. Be careful as you exit your VIP seats. It'll be waiting for you next Wednesday when we talk to my girl, Kiki. Be sure to join us on all social media and on our website at blackwomeninradio.com.
Here we go! You really think that? I'm like, child, this theater. I was just writing it for the stage, but I wrote it. You know what I mean? And I talk about the need for sisterhood. Because let's just be real clear. Most women don't like each other. Somebody's recognizing you're doing something great. That's when you push forward. When somebody's trying to push back, that's when you got to push hard. This isn't something I woke up one day and said I'm gonna do. I did all the necessary research. And then, you know, I networked with 2 or 3 people in both cities and said, I want you to work with me on my team. Little boys can play the little Game Boys, and they play pee-wee football and pee-wee basketball. They learn how to compete and not take it personal. But I can still be your friend. We're not taught that.